Hey, Shalom, welcome to the Karma Kapash from James London, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashar Chachodash. I want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful that's pushing his truth in all sincerity. Back again with another video, and I wanted to play this clip here that bro posted up in the chat. Going into carbon taxing, or essentially, right? Because this is how it is. This is how the elite's gonna how they want it, what their plans are going forward, and, how they're going to go about implementing and controlling, these populations of these nations, man, which always going to, lead into the mark of the beast, right? And it's all going to be, monitored and controlled, by the elites, by the system, okay, the AIs and all this kind of stuff, right? It really here to enslave and oppress the people, right? And they got this dude here with this clip. It's about 4.5 minutes long. I'm gonna play it intermittently as we go through some scriptures and stuff. But he goes into it, and it's just gonna show you outline basically what it's gonna be like living in Esau's new world order, and hence why Yahweh Shai needs to come and destroy this devil, and destroy his system, destroy his kingdom, right? Because Esau already plans to put people in slavery, while the elites of Esau, okay, live it up, because they believe the earth is theirs, it belongs to them, it doesn't belong to nobody else, and nobody else can enjoy it, all right? You're nothing but serfs, to be taken advantage of. All right, so I'm gonna play some of this video, and I'll stop it and jump into some scriptures in some point. All right.
Carbon credit system trial that sets a daily allowance for each person, a literal cap on your ability to travel, purchase food, clothing, and even heat your home, all rationed under the guise of saving the planet. Your daily carbon limit is capped at 40 kilograms of CO2, with food restricted to just 4 kilograms. So how does this translate to actual food? Well, according to the report, a packet of cheese accounts for 1.1 kilograms of CO2, over 25% of your daily allowance. Red meat? Forget it. If you spent your entire 4 kg allowance on steak, you'd get around 8 ounces of meat. While meat and dairy products have the highest carbon footprints, 2 slices of bread would account for just 3%, while a can of Coke just 4. So basically...
All right, so all items and the activities and things that you do and use, right, have a carbon, or have a carbon usage attached to them, right? As per these governments and the scientists, right? They all got a carbon emissions label attached to them now, right? And now they're trying to bring it into the public sphere, right? To get you used to the idea that these things cost or have a carbon value, okay, which is going to become more prominent, okay, when they start, bringing in laws and stipulations around individual carbon usage, right? And so they're bringing it into public sphere now. So you become aware now that these things cost a certain amount of carbon units, or however they're going to phrase it, right? And so when they implement limitations on consumption, allowable consumption, right, you're going to be like, oh yeah, okay, you're going to be used to the idea that things cost a certain amount of carbon credits or units or whatever. Right, and you know how to apply it to yourselves. All right, that's the idea behind this scheme, right?
Diabetes is on the menu, but don't worry, Big Pharma will have you covered because medications and healthcare products will not be factored into your daily carbon limit. But here's where things get terrifying. They're not just suggesting it, they're testing it. Food manufacturers are already slapping carbon labels on their products. And let's not forget the food supply chain either. These policies directly threaten local farmers and producers as red meat gets penalized heavily, while synthetic lab-grown meat is being propped up as a solution. The fashion industry contributes approximately 10% of global carbon emissions, with much of the impact coming from production and transportation, which is now your problem.
Right, so they plan on taking things out of the system, for what you're used to using and consuming. The idea of meat in your diet is going to be very heavily reduced, right? And this is why they've been pushing fake meat, lab meat, 3D printed foods and all that kind of shit. All these plant based diets and all these kind of things, because they're gonna they're gonna take away so called quote unquote luxuries, okay, which they're not luxuries. Most High put all these things there for us to use and consume, right? They're there as a right for every individual on the planet to have and to use or whatever, right? But he's so controlling that he doesn't want to, because he's the one obviously running all these corporations and stuff that's producing these meats and selling these all these things and that he just he don't want to do all this shit no more. He wants to just sit back and enjoy it and not have to worry about owning this business and that business. They just want to live it up, man. He wants a handful of corporations doing whatever it's doing, and while they get to enjoy all the best that the earth has to offer, but you on the other hand, right, don't get to enjoy none of that, right? Because Esau's so what's the word I'm looking for, man? Not selfish. He's so greedy, right, that he doesn't want nobody to have anything. All right, and so he comes up with these crazy ass ideas, to oppress and to give him, the best, but to oppress everybody else, right? So I'm reading this from Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. It says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith," right? Okay, Esau's soul is full of nothing but pride, right? Because he's the ruler of the earth right now. It says, "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine," okay, which is philosophy, these ideas, right? "He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death," right? He's greedy, right? And promotes nothing but death ultimately. And everything that he does, he brings around death, right? And like I say, he's greedy and wants everything to himself. Even though he's not been given that as a blessing from the Heavenly Father or anybody, right? He's not here to have everything for himself, right? He was given an inheritance, right? But his blessing is not to rule over all people and over all lands and over all resources. That's not his blessing ultimately, right? So you're overstepping, right? So who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied, right? And so you imagine that these elites, despite how super wealthy they are and how much they have, it's not enough, right? They actually, they get upset, right? They're mad that other people get to enjoy other things. They feel like they should be the only ones to get to enjoy it because they're the ones that put the work in, into bringing this all about, right? We're just the labor, right? But without Esau, as far as he's concerned, man, you don't deserve shit. He's that proud. He believes that he's the one responsible for all things, bright and beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And he don't believe that you deserve any of it, right? Any of us deserve any of it, even though you're the ones, like I said, putting the hours on the shift, But yeah, you don't deserve it. You're nothing but a useless eater in their eyes, right? But yeah, it says, and this is death and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heateth unto him all people, right? So this is a plan and a scheme that Esau looking to roll out on all people, right? Same as the MOTB, because this is like a precursor. Like this is the the system that the MOTB is gonna uphold, right? It's gonna anchor down, right? Because you're going to be heavily restricted. You're going to be, like I said, under control, and you're going to have to accept this man's system and what he's doing. Okay, and you're going to take the MOTB, and that's going to lock you into that system. So there ain't no way around it. And the only way you're going to be able to do anything is if you got that MOT, got that CHIP, right? But again, everything is a ration. He already explained, what was it, 40 grams of CO2 or whatever it is per person. That's your allowance, right? And so you're not gonna be able to surpass that limit on your CHIP, You know, let's play some of the more of this video.
A single cotton t-shirt will cost you 2.1 kilograms of CO2. Synthetics will cost you much more, and if you like leather, just buy it now. But you can save those carbon credits by purchasing used clothes. So, how about travel? The average person burns through 2.3 kg per day going about their daily lives. However, if you ever see yourself going on vacation again, you're going to want to start biking or walking to work because a typical round trip via airplane from London to New York emits approximately 1,600 kilograms of CO2 per person.
So you can think about traveling. And this is all part of Esau's green idea, you know what I mean? He's trying to eliminate cars. He's trying to eliminate, well, for you, he's trying to eliminate cars and boats and airplanes and all these kinds of things. You know, it's in his dossiers, man, in his roadmap to going green. You know, by 2030 or wherever these dates are, 2035 and all this shit, right? He wants to limit the use of all these things severely. Because of, in his words, we need to save the planet. He don't give a shit about the planet. He don't give a shit about people. But this is what, we're all operating under this guise that the planet's in danger, and if we don't do something now drastically, the world's gonna end, or we're gonna get a type of day after tomorrow type scenarios with super storms and shit. That's what he's pushing. And so it's hard to, for the people to argue against, the fact that, he's trying to save the planet. Who wouldn't want to try and save the planet and save lives and that kind of stuff? It sounds like one of those arguments that you'd be stupid to go against it, but it's bullshit. Esau is full of bullshit. Oh, but the Earth's warming up. We've got proof the Earth is warming up, and there's more storms and Yeah, convenient data. It's convenient data. Manipulated data, convenient data for you to push your agenda. The whole idea ultimately is to enslave set up the system and enslave the people around this idea that we all need to reduce our uses of carbon emissions, right? But again, like this guy goes into, I was about to go into, it doesn't apply to the elite, right? Because they're so rich and wealthy, and that they can they don't need to obey the rules, and at the same time Esau does what he can does what he can to stop you amassing any type of wealth, so you can't really get out of this situation, but they'll live above it, much like these movies, these dystopian movies that you've watched and seen, like Elysium and stuff like that. It's a proper, if you thought it was like for lack of a better word, two-tier system, now it's going to be even great, an even greater divide is going to be created by this by the elites, and what tier they're on. Okay, they're going to elevate themselves and push you down further. Like I said, like Elysium, they were living on Elysium, and everybody else was just living on the desolate earth, working for machines. That's the future that Esau is moving towards. Let's see here. This is Luke chapter 2, verse 1. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed, right? And this popped into my mind concerning this carbon tax or whatever, right? Because it's one of those things. They're declaring these things that that this is the whole world should operate like this, right? That we should all have this carbon allowance, and that's why they're testing it and trying it, and that's why they're slapping labels on food products and whatever, right? So, it's just a similar thing. They're decreeing unrighteous decrees, bringing the people into subjection ultimately, right? Let me grab that. Is Isaiah 10:1 says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and right grievousness which they have prescribed." Right. So they're trying to bring these things into force, right? But it's all a wicked agenda that they're pushing, right, to oppress people. In Psalm 73 verse 7 said that Verse 3, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked, for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Right? Like I said, they're bringing all these laws, these rules in and stuff like that, but again, it's not going to apply to them, so it's not even going to affect them. So that, again, they're not in trouble as other men. You're going to have to make all the sacrifices. They ain't have to do shit. Right? So therefore, pride compasses them as a chain, right? Because they're the ones setting all these things up. And so, they can exempt themselves. And so they're like, ha, 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 ha. These peons, look what we're making them do. Giving up all their freedoms and, because that's what they're doing. They're trying to taking things away from you. You're living in their world, their society, where they've given you things, right? Allowed you to have things, right? And now they're taking it all back. You've done the work for them, and now it's time for to take it all back now and leave you with scraps where you don't get to enjoy anything. It says therefore pride compasses them about as a chain, and violence covered them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness, they have more than heart could wish. Right? So they have everything, but they want to take yet more. They're not prepared to make no sacrifices. And ain't none of them gonna give up their wealth and their jets and their cars and all this craziness that they be doing, right, in order to save the planet. They act like, or they move in a way in such it looks like they're spending this money to save the planet, right? But they're good. They're not spending any money they don't need. They ain't spending money that they need. They're already, they're making stupid amounts of money. That extra money doesn't make any damn bit of difference in their life. It's not affecting them whatsoever. Oh yeah, they donated 200 million to this organization. That 2 million wasn't going to change their lives, man. They're already fucking good. And it might as well be chump change. Okay, some token gesture, man. It ain't nothing to them. Right, so they're not making no sacrifices. Their standard of living is only getting better. It's not getting worse. All right. So what looks noble and they're spending lots of money and trying to do this and do that. They really love the people on the planet. They don't. Okay, but I say on the surface it looks like that, but ultimately what they're doing is that they're investing in consolidation of power, in oppression. That's what they're doing, right? Because they these these Mr. Gates of the world and Zuckerbergs and Musks and whatever, they're just puppets of the elites out here doing the elites bidding and to forward their agenda. So their eyes stand out with fatness, they have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. Right? So they like I said, they don't care. They know the effect it's going to have on people, and they don't care. This is a necessary thing we must do to save the planet. But how comes it's everybody else? Like I said, it's your problem, But how comes it's everybody else that has to make all these changes, and you don't have to make no changes? What makes you better? What, just because you're rich? That makes you better. That means you don't have to play by the same rules you're trying to implement on everybody else. It's double standards, right? It's hypocrisy. But that's what the devil is. Esau is nothing but a damn hypocrite. So they set their mouth against the heavens and their tongue walking through the earth. All right. So let me come back to the video.
Equating to 80 days of your total carbon allowance under the PCA guidelines. Heating accounts for a significant share of household emissions, especially in colder climates, with the average household burning through 6 kg of CO2 per day. The recommended solution? Be cold. or fork over a bunch of money to install renewable energy sources in your home. There's also an allowance for leisure and entertainment. Streaming services, gaming, or internet usage at home or on your phone relies on data centers powered by electricity. So, that will cost you. Going to a concert or a ball game? Well, that involves travel, lighting, and heating or cooling. Boom, pay the toll. You like gardening, DIY projects, or recreational sports? Those all involve resource consumption, and there's no free lunch in the credit card world.
Now, and this is why Esau needs these C-hips, man, these RFIDs inside your bodies to monitor all these things that you're doing. Right? They really want to monitor everything that you do. Internally, inside your body and externally, man. With a whole bunch of fucking cameras and systems just watching you, watching you, right, and recording everything that you're doing. It's just so we can accurately calculate all this shit for you, man. So you never miss, you never miss a payment, never miss anything, right? That's why it's important for you to get linked into the system. That's why everything's going digital. Okay.
You'd be thinking, surely this is just a trial. Wrong. This isn't just being tested, it's being planned. In the UK white paper, they openly admit that their goal is to encourage behavior towards implementing this system. They're normalizing the idea that your lifestyle is subject to bureaucratic quotas handed down by governments that live in luxury while telling you to eat less meat. Surprisingly, here's where it gets dystopian. The system isn't about reducing emissions where it matters. The report itself acknowledges that 70% of carbon emissions come from sectors beyond individual control, including industry, exports, and military operations. But instead of tackling those...
Esau, who is blessed with the sword, right? He's the greatest polluter on the earth, right? But he's not out here trying to suggest we stop war, because war is a big money maker for him, man. So these things are gonna continue to go on, right? 70% of all carbon emissions is done in these various fields, right? It's not down to individual consumption, right? And you got all Esau's corporations and shit, like. These things are going to continue, and so the effect that individual are going to have is small comparison small in comparison to the effect that it could have if Esau wasn't such a damn fucking hypocrite. But it's like I say, like he's saying, it's not about the emissions so much. It's just about control.
They're coming after you. You see, this isn't about reducing carbon, it's about reducing you. Restricting how far you can travel, what you can eat, and ultimately, how much freedom you can enjoy.
Right, and that's why Esau was also developing 15-minute cities and stuff like that. Right, he's trying to box you in. Right, restrict all kind of operations that you do on a daily basis or yearly basis or whatever. He wants you in a cage. He wants you in a cage, in a hamster wheel. Right, and that all makes you think about all those Black Mirror episodes. And say people make fun or mock at the fact that we mention these movies and series and all that kind of stuff, man. But look at where we're going. Everything that you see on screens, these are like the visions or the dreams of Esau being put on the big screen. That is all it is. Where technology is being developed or yet to be developed, but it's the idea that Esau wants to go, because you can do anything in a movie. You don't have to make it actually fucking work. Man, do time travel and shit. It don't have to fucking work, but you can display the concept. And so it's like all these other things like Minority Report and pre-crime. It's all these things. It's like, and that was being looked at. I remember reading something about that recently. About AI can predict when the next crime is going to take place and that kind of stuff. Not down to like the individual and what they're going to do, but where the next crime is likely to pop up. Which I guess you can, with statistics, find out the probability of an incident happening in a particular place or whatever. You can do all that, I guess. But he also does these things in these movies because he's showing you what he wants to achieve or where he's pushing society, because all this is predictive programming. Right, so getting used to the idea, like this is just natural progression into the, going forward. This is because this is where we're going to end up. And albeit at the time you just think, oh, it's just a movie, not too many years from that movie is going to be where these things are going to be, brought out into the open. That these things actually exist and these things are actually being implemented. We're living in the future of those movies, kind of thing. And this is where we're heading towards, man. All right.
And once the system is linked to digital IDs and centralized banking, the consequences of exceeding your carbon limits are severe. Overspend on travel or food this month, you can be locked out of making non-essential purchases. And if you think that's far-fetched, China's social credit system operates on the same principles: track, regulate, and punish. And this trial...
Right. So we always keep mentioning that the whole China credit score system. right? And what they be doing over there is it's like a trial run of what Esau's going to implement across the whole world, right? And so this is what he's doing all around the world in all these different places. You know, you might think these are separate things, that they're isolated things in different places or whatever, but this is a global thing that's going to take place. And all these technologies are being trialed in different places and being run in different places, right? To ultimately be used overall in the whole earth. All right, and once everything goes digital, it's going to be hard. It's impossible to hide anything from them, you know. And then once you're connected, okay, you know, the Internet of Things. Once you're, you know, when you're integrated into that system, you know, through the CHIP or the MOTB, then that's it. That's it. You're locked into that system now. There's no getting around it or out of it, because there's no other way to do anything. Okay, as we're gonna go into in a minute.
Isn't happening in a vacuum. Similar proposals are being floated globally. The EU's Fit for 55 program
Globally,
is
right?
pushing personal carbon tracking. The World Economic Forum published reports in 2022 advocating for individual carbon quotas tied to digital IDs. Even the Canadian Climate Accountability Act includes language that promotes integrating personalized carbon targets. As for the typical political hypocrisy, the same elites pushing this nonsense aren't giving up their private jets or lavish lifestyles. In 2022 alone, 1,040 private jets landed in Davos for the WEF summit, just so billionaires could lecture the rest of us about cutting emissions and personal carbon tracking.
Right. So like I said, things are not going to change for these wicked elite, you know, these so-called rich of this world, right? They're going to continue doing what they were doing. Nothing's going to change for them. Except they're going to enjoy more wealth. They're going to enjoy more things, you know. But you're going to enjoy way, way less, you know. It's Proverbs chapter 22, verse 16. He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. Right? So Esau, he oppresses the poor to increase what he's got. Right? Because he's taking away from you. Right? He's taking away from you to increase his own. It's Proverbs 22, verse 22, right? Jumping down. It says, rob not the poor because he is poor. Right? And this is what it is that they're doing. They're taking advantage of the people because they're weak and they're poor. And Esau purposely keeps them poor. Right? That's why the whole tax system is there to keep you down on a certain level that you can't really get out of, okay, by normal means, but just by going to work. You can't, right? Because you're getting taxed the shit out of all the damn fucking time. All right? So he keeps people poor on purpose, right? So he can take advantage of them, right? So it says again, rob not the poor because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. For the Lord will plead their cause and spoil the soul of those that spoil them. All right, and that's what only gonna happen to Esau. He's gonna be taken down, all the way down, right? For all his wickedness that he's done. This is from Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, verse. I'm gonna read from verse 5, right? This is just the insight to the mind of these Edomites, these elites, right? And it says here, for our time is a very shadow that passeth away, and after our end there is no returning, for it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again, right? And these people got so much money, they're heading all kinds of projects, man, trying to find immortality and, you know, ways to extend their lives and all kinds of things, right? So they're trying to defy the, you know, the very nature of things, right, with their wealth, right? This is verse 6, come on therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in our youth, right? So they think this whole planet is theirs for them just to use and abuse, essentially, right, for whatever they please. It says, let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass us by, right, to live lavishly. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion, and our lot is this. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient grey hairs of the age. They don't give a damn about people, man. They just see, you know, what they can use you for. right? And like I said, you're used to the elites, and you know they're designing their new order is pretty much over, right? And they're about to replace you with AIs and robots and you know other types of machines and stuff like that, and put you on a social credit system, right? Which is going to be carbon taxable, or carbon taxed, right? So you're gonna be living this minimalistic lifestyle, man, based on what they decide, you know, you're allowed, you know. So if they want to put that number real low and you don't enjoy shit, you ain't gonna enjoy shit, man. And they can do that on your C hip. You know, everybody might get 40 kilograms of CO2 or whatever the fuck it is, but you, because of X reasons or whatever, you gonna get 20, 10. You survive on that, bitch. You know, you upset them in some type of way, they just turn your shit down or turn it off, and then you ain't gonna get shit. You know, how you gonna get anything? You can't make no purchases. You ain't got the mark, or your mark's turned off. Your C hips turned off. You ain't gonna do nothing, or you're not authorized to purchase this particular item. Just like, you know, trying to credit system, right? So you're gonna be at the mercy of these elites and their decisions, man. You know, because we know what Esau's like. You know, yeah, 40 might be generous. Who knows? Like, you know, you might not be able to take a plane to New York or whatever, but you know, 40 might sound generous, and when he feels like he'll just lower it. Oh, it's still too much. We need to lower it. The emissions is still too high. We need to lower it. You know, that's what the devil's like. This is what this devil does, man. You know, he ain't gonna fucking put it up, so you can enjoy it more. You know, we'd always be in a carbon crisis for their minute. So you're always gonna be screwed. But like I said, they're never gonna be in a crisis ever. The same when the economy, you know, tanked during the pandemic. It was alright for all of them. They had all that money and all that wealth, right? It doesn't hit them. It doesn't hit them like it hits everybody else. They're not in a crisis. The rich made more money in that time, right? But the poor got screwed. Little businesses got screwed. You know, it's all about them. It's never about the people. They only stand to benefit. Everybody else stands to lose. You know. So yeah, they this is here, verse 10. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient grey hairs of the age. Let our strength be the law of justice. So they decide what the hell they want to do, right? Because they're in the power seat, right? And they won't be told nothing. They'll do whatever it is they please, right? So let our strength be the law of justice. For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. The Esau don't respect the things that are weak, right? So if you're here to be, you're weak and you're here to be taken advantage of, that's exactly what he's gonna do. He doesn't care what the outcome for you is gonna be. He doesn't care about your quality of life. He doesn't care if you live or die. He don't care if you got, he doesn't care about you or what's going on in your life. You know? Let's see. One more.
So here's the truth. Personal carbon allowances won't stop climate change. They will, however, stop you from living freely. They'll hollow out the middle class, decimate local agriculture, and concentrate power in the hands of the global elite. They're testing this in the UK, but trust me, it's headed here too. And many of us know that this is the cornerstone of...
Right, so that's it. The cornerstone of the system, right? But like I said, that's going to be enforced by the MOTB. All right, I've got a few more scriptures before we close out. It's Joel 20 verse 5 says, verse 4 says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Right? So, like I say, he's trying to do all these things, thinking that he's gonna perpetually rule here on the earth. Right? He thinks he's gonna consolidate power and rule forever. Right? But they say, that ain't gonna happen, because that's not what's written in the prophecies, right? The wicked can't rule forever, right? But here in this world, he's portraying himself to be some sort of righteous eco warrior, trying to save the world, right, and the people, right? But he's nothing but a hypocrite, all right? So his triumph is gonna be short, okay? Because it's all coming to an end real soon, man. All right. It's Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. So therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth he have but a short time. Right. So in his spirit, he knows he's running out of time, and this is why all these things are manifesting and coming to pass right now, because he's trying to tie up his new order by bringing all these things in, right? And so the mark of the beast isn't going to be far behind. It's not going to be far behind, man. You're going to be seeing it. Okay, we already know, already seen that it's more and more prominent each year that goes by, right? So it's only a matter of time before we start seeing this, man, and people start taking it. This is Revelation chapter 13 and 16. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. Again, globally, it's a global plan that they're man trying to execute, right? To receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, right? So again, there isn't going to be another type of system. This current system that we're operating under now, man, is going to be done away with. Okay, the fact that you can use, cash and whatever to make payments and stuff like that, that's going to be done away with. Right, you're going to be updated to a new digital system, digital ID, digital credit systems, and central bank digital currencies, and universal basic credit, and all these types of things, man. Right, that's what you're going to be linked up to, right, in this new digital system, right. And it says you may not buy or sell without it, right. You're going to have it if you want to buy things in this world, right. That's what's going to cause it's going to cause you to do it, right, because you're going to want to get these get food and get whatever, right? But it's all going to be rationed to you. So we have to comply with all this carbon tax and shit, right? It all has to comply. Everything has to comply. You have to comply. Everything has to comply, and it's all managed through the AI systems or whatever. So there's no getting around it. Okay, this is what like I said, is gonna hold down this new system that Esau is building. Is just the RFID, right? Because you're the final piece of the system, right? You're the last patch that's going to go in. The system's going to be created, and you're going to be logged in, and that's how you're going to be logged in when you take the MOTB. Now you're going to be logged in, and you ain't ever going to be able to log out, right? You're going to be continuously in this system, being monitored, being tracked, being recorded, data being exchanged at blistering speeds, the 5G, the 6G, and all this shit. So you're never going to be able to get out of the system once you're in it. So and therefore you just made yourself like the ultimate slave. And he calls it both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right, so this is where it's all leading. Okay, as you've been hearing from us, right, and all these different aspects of the system, man. It's a one global system. Now you're just hearing about different aspects of it separately, right? But it's all for this one system, this new world order. Okay, with this mark of the beast, it's all for that. All right. I'm gonna end it there. Lord, this has been edifying, and I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next video. Till next time, I say shalom.